Hey, Lightworkers. So, a couple of weeks ago, an author who I follow on social media and I enjoy his work, he posted a call to action on his Facebook page. And it was something along the lines of, how can we do things differently? How can we do things differently, right? The world is burning down. How can we do things differently? Now, I guess I caught this like right when he posted it because he has a lot of followers. But I actually saw the first comment get posted, and it was someone who said, love is the only viable option. And we talk about love a lot in the spiritual community. But then he said he appreciated the sentiment, but he wanted to do the real work on the ground. And this is what many people get wrong. Now, yes, love is feelings toward our favorite people, but love is also the real work on the ground. So I want to talk about the power of love and how it is the power of love, and this is an unknown aspect of love that maybe people don't always talk about, but why love is required for us to create a sacred community and how we are truly better together. Better together. But first, I want to talk about the 7 needs, requirements that all of us have as human beings. And we've heard most of these needs before. Other, psychologists and spiritual leaders talk about them. But this particular person, Daryl Anka, he channels a being called Bashar. But he put it this way, and I've never heard it put this way by anyone. He says, of course, the first 5 needs, we all know this: air, water, sleep, food, and shelter. We already know this. But did you also know that the 6th need, it's a physical need, is connection, being in relationship. And then the 7th need is creative expression. So yes, connection and creative expression are actually physical needs. And when I say creative expression, I don't mean you have to be a painter or a writer. We are creating our experiences all the time. Okay, so these, yes, connection and creative expression are physical needs. And guess what? Our connections support our ability to be creatively expressive. A supportive community supports us in creating new experiences, but a supportive community, a sacred community, also builds things together. As a community, we are creating experiences together. Now, the first person who ever talked about the power of building community and by making it a spiritual practice built on love was teacher Jesus. And he gave this commandment where he said, you must love as I have loved and love your neighbor as yourself. Now, this commandment is about creating harmony between us in our community with the real life, actual people that we interact with. Now, the big problem that so many of us are facing is that we're not connecting with an actual real life community where our attention is divided out into all the wrong things, all the problems that are happening in the world. So we're not focused back here on our real life community. We're instead thinking, oh, well, I've got to share all my opinions on what's happening on the other side of the world, and that's how I'm making a difference. And it's really not. Okay, so this is distracting us actually from creating an actual community. We're putting more attention out there than we are putting here in our own life, in the package of our life, in the little universe that we're creating. Now, the next problem is that many people don't want to love their neighbor. They don't want to love their neighbor, neighbor being anybody we interact with. right? If you go to a restaurant, your waitress, you could call your waitress your neighbor. It's just anybody that we interact with. But this is because so many people just see love as our emotions. We love the people who are easy to love. But who wants to love the person who does not think like we do? And also, we're putting a lot of that out there onto the world stage, where it's not even happening in our own life. Now, I had a paradigm shifting event happen when I found this quote from Emmett Fox. And he said this, and this is all about love, okay? We are not obliged to like anyone. I'm going to say that again. We are not obliged to like anyone, but we are under a binding obligation to love everyone. Love, or charity as the Bible calls it, is a givingness, and it just means a vivid sense of impersonal goodwill. So love does not mean we have to like the people we don't like, but love is an obligation to have a feeling of givingness toward our neighbor. Okay, so impersonal goodwill. It's not about our feelings. Though when we do a kind thing for someone we don't necessarily like, it can still end up feeling good. All right, so back to Jesus's commandment. The commandment to rule all the other previous commandments, and the commandment that is all about creating a healing community. Love as I have loved, and love your neighbor as yourself. So there are two parts to this commandment. First is love as I have loved. How did Jesus love? Well, his love was expressed as impersonal goodwill, compassion, mercy, understanding, charity, a givingness. This is how he loved. But this love, this givingness, this impersonal goodwill that he possessed, like in massive amounts, this love became an invitation to get curious about his message. See, he wasn't trying to force anybody to stop believing in an outside God, a sky daddy. He wasn't trying to force anybody to do that. He was inviting people. He was inviting people to get curious about what he was teaching and he was living as an example of what was possible if you did the same things he did. Okay, how did Jesus love? That's how Jesus loved. Now love your neighbor as yourself. This is where it can get a little complicated, okay? So love your neighbor as yourself. First, we love as Jesus loved, by having a vivid sense of impersonal goodwill. Then understanding that when we love our neighbor as ourselves, we don't have to like them, but to love our neighbor as ourselves is simply to want for them the same good we want for ourselves. And if we're having a bad day and not feeling too good about ourselves, to want for them the same good that we would want for those who we love most on this planet. So we want good for everyone, for all of our neighbors, for the actual people that we know. And what do most people want? And it has nothing to do with how we eat, vote, pray, parent. I mean, we all want our basic needs met. Okay, but beyond that then, most of us, we want to be in a circle of belonging. We want to feel cared for. We want to feel connected and feel like there's somebody right here in front of us who understands us and who listens to just listen, not to react and tell us what we should do differently. We want someone in our life that when we have a bad day, they give us the benefit of the doubt instead of just telling us we're a jerk. We want someone who, when we tell them about some bad thing that happened in our day, even if they don't really know what's going on, they don't really know our participation in that event, but they get indignant on our behalf. We want someone who celebrates all of our wins, even our small wins that other people didn't even notice. We want someone who, when we are grieving a loss, will just sit with us and feel sad with us. These are the people I want to be with. And I think these are the people we all want to be with. These are the people who we want to build community with, a sacred community. So a sacred community, it gives to us and it unites us. Charles Fillmore, he said it this way: love is the great harmonizer and healer. Love prospers and unites. Prospers is love gives. It gives us stuff, right? It gives us what we need, what we love. This is why love is the heart of a sacred community. This is why love is the work on the ground. It heals and it harmonizes because we are connecting in with this healing and harmonizing force simply by being in a relationship with real life people in the package of our life. We're creating a circle of belonging. We're feeling like someone cares. We're connected. Somebody understands us and listens to us. And when we have a bad day, they give us the benefit of the doubt, have compassion for us. They celebrate our wins and they get indignant on our behalf when something doesn't go our way. They're the person who feels sad with us when we are grieving a loss. And this becomes a healing experience. And it harmonizes us with other people. We cannot learn to have a sense of impersonal goodwill, to love our neighbor, to have mercy and compassion, without other people in our lives. The people in our lives are teaching us to have a vivid sense of impersonal goodwill toward them. The people in our lives teach us to be the brightest and most loving versions of ourselves that we can possibly be in that moment. So yeah, love that heals and harmonizes and prospers, gives its all, right? Unites us. This kind of love is the only viable option. So here's our call to action for this week. We'll start with our affirmation. And this affirmation is a little different because we're including others. We're including others in this affirmation. Love heals and unites us. Okay, say that again. Love heals and unites us. Love heals and unites us. We truly are better together. It doesn't matter how we eat, vote, pray, or parent. We are better together because we are tapping into something that goes far, far deeper than all that. And if you feel a little challenged by the word love, I like to turn this affirmation into a challenge, right? Love heals and unites us. But we can turn this into a challenge to see how it shows up, right? To see how it actually is so true. And we can put it this way. Put this to the universe. What if love heals and unites us? What if love heals and unites us? What if love heals and unites us? So our invitation for this week is, okay, so if love heals and unites us, it's something I have to participate with. So how can I express impersonal goodwill? How can I express impersonal goodwill? And don't even worry about the people who are on the world stage, who are out of the area. You can save all that for later. I'm not saying don't be an activist in your life, but I'm saying start here practicing with real life people first? How can I express a vivid sense of impersonal goodwill? How can I give someone the benefit of the doubt? How can I celebrate someone's wins? You see, there is something happening on this planet right now, and we get to be a part of it in whatever way we can show up right here in our lives. We're part of all of this. It doesn't matter what's going on the world stage. We're still part of everything. And how we show up right here and right now is what's going to end up rippling out there. See, there is something that brought us here and gave us to each other at this time. Being in a sacred community, experiencing the circle of belonging, is the whole reason that something greater can now be created through us. We see it, we feel it, we live it. We do this together. Okay? We are Unity of Yucaipa, and we choose love. We are unity, and we choose love. Because this is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. And everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is.